You ready to start? Yeah, maybe tell people that we're gonna wait a few minutes for more chairs. You wanna do that, or you want to start? Oh, okay. Go ahead. All right, we're going.
All right, good morning. We've got more chairs coming. I don't know. I mean, good gosh, this is a phenomenal turnout that we didn't anticipate. So we got some more chairs coming, so hopefully we can get at least the majority of everybody seated. But welcome. My name's Cameron Begbie. I have the pleasure of being you guys' interim city manager at the moment. We're excited to do this today, kind of hear your concerns, feedback, and how we can kind of go forward and build this relationship with our new neighbors. We have Sheriff Gary Redmond, who's going to be our moderator, and then our ad hoc committee of Mayor Don Nunn and Vice Mayor Holger Hornish. And with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to Sheriff Redmond.
Before we get started, if you could please stand, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you. So I was asked to be the moderator just to kind of run this town hall, I would say, today. And so
You gotta put it right almost.
apparently I got to put it right in my mouth.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. But thank you in the back. So as moderator, I'm going to go over the rules of what our expectations are. And my goal is just to make sure that the city who asked me to be here and asked for this town hall gets to hear all of your concerns, all of your issues. With that, what we don't want to do and the intention of this meeting is not to turn it into, let's rehash the last 23 years of why we don't want this casino here. The fact is the casino's here, the casino is not going away, and they really want to hear the concerns and the issues. And I also want to hear those concerns and the issues since I'm tasked with the public safety of now 3 casinos in Amador County. So we'll keep it on track and I'll go over the rules right now. Please be respectful. It's going to be one speaker at a time. If you want to be recognized by me, please just raise your hand and I will call on you and have you come to the podium. Ask questions, please do not make speeches. Observe time limits, and the time limit will be 3 minutes for each person that comes up and wants to ask questions or voice concerns. And if there is going to be a rebuttal, then that will be 1.5 minutes. And we will be timing, and I would like to adhere to those because we have a lot of people here today who I'm sure want to get up and speak. Stay on topic. No repetition. And the moderator authority, my decision is going to be final. Hopefully I don't have to ask anybody to leave. Once again, I want everybody to be respectful. But ultimately, if you get out of hand, I will ask you to leave the meeting. And disruptive behavior, I'm not going to tolerate it. Any follow-up questions that cannot be addressed today, They will be writing down, taking notes, and we can answer those at a later time. With that, the Senator Marie Alvarado Gill, her representative Valerie is here, and she would like to make a few comments.
Good morning, everybody. I don't want to take a lot of time. Can you hear me in the back?
Valerie,
If you want to use
if we
the podium.
could get you on the microphone, that we're on Zoom and
Push the button, your red light comes on.
Good morning, everybody. I appreciate having just a couple minutes to say hello. The Senator Marie Alvarado Gill wanted to be here today. She's not able to make it, but she made sure that I was here today. And just to give you a little background on the senator, if any of you don't know who she is, Senator Marie Alvarado Gill, her district is Senate District 4. It goes from Truckee down to Mariposa, down to Inyo County. So we are on the road a lot. She represents 13 counties. She lives in Jackson, California. She's gotten her committee assignments. We're working on a ledge packet right now. Most of her bills all come from the district. So we are going to be looking at rural healthcare hospitals. We're looking at fire. We're looking at a lot of different bills. All of the ideas usually come from individuals like yourself who call me and say, Valerie, we've got an issue. Let's talk about it. And then it goes from there. So that's going to be coming out really soon. She's on the Agriculture Committee. She's also on the Revenue and Taxation Committee. This oversees local, state, and local taxes. She's a member of the Government Organization Committee. So that deals with public safety, emergency response, and she's a member of the Joint Committee on Fairs and Allocation. So she's really involved with the local fairs. If anyone needs anything, please call our office. We're happy to help. We help individuals deal with state agencies. A lot of times, sometimes we need to push back. I know there's a lot of things to talk about today. Thank you for giving me a couple minutes, and just glad that you've got everyone here to talk about things.
Thank you, Valerie. And I've had the distinct pleasure of working with the senator on several projects that include public safety, and she's been phenomenal in her team. I just want to say there are rules that have been printed out that I just went over. They are in the back, so if you want to help yourself, please grab a set. And with that, I'll turn it over to the city.
Hello, thank you all for being here today, and quite a turnout. So I do have a letter here from the chairwoman, the IOM band, that I'm just going to go ahead and read to the public, and addressed to the council and the members of Plymouth and the surrounding areas. On behalf of the IOM band of Miwok Indians, I'm pleased to share this information about Acorn Ridge Casino, our vision and economic impact this property has and will continue to have on the community. Opening in late February, the IOM band of Miwok Indians, long anticipated Acorn Ridge Casino, will introduce a new destination for entertainment, dining, hospitality in the greater Sacramento region. We have designed the 60,000 square foot property to feel welcoming and approachable, featuring a vibrant outdoor entertainment area, state-of-the-art slot machines, and table games. Interest in Acorn Ridge from both the community and the region leading up to the opening has been strong. Following the launch of online hiring and the property's first job fair, thousands of applications were received, delivering an encouraging response that speaks to both the excitement surrounding the Acorn Ridge and the opportunity it represents for the tribe and the broader local community. From the moment guests arrive, our hope is that they will see how open and connected to the landscape Acorn Ridge is, and how the light, airy design was inspired by the area's natural beauty and rural character. We have designed the property with thoughtful transitions in mind, so when patrons go between indoor and outdoor spaces throughout the property, they can do so in an environment that feels relaxed, social, and easy to enjoy. Dining will also play a central role in the guest experience at Acorn Ridge. The property's restaurant, Stone Creek Kitchen, will offer contemporary California cuisine with a farm-to-fork focus, highlighting fresh, locally sourced ingredients and seasonal flavors, while Old Roots Bar serves as a comfortable gathering place, indoors or out, for drinks, conversation, and time well spent. We are immensely proud of this property for the new opportunities it's creating, including new jobs with an emphasis on local hiring and overall positive economic impact on the region, and for bringing this special place to fruition, where visitors and the community alike can come together and enjoy themselves. We look forward to opening our doors very soon and introducing our fellow community members to the Acorn Ridge team and environment. Thank you, Sarah Dutchke, Chairperson. And at this time, the Vice Mayor, have anything to say?
Good morning, everybody. Louder already? Need speakers in the back. Usually we are not this packed, so this is usually a moot point. I'll echo on what the letter has said. We did have a meeting with the chairperson, with Cameron and Don, and I just want to add that it is a 60,000 square foot casino. They have, or should have, somewhere around 300 employees, 349 machines, 12 to 14 tables. You did mention the indoor-outdoor space, and my number one takeaway from them is that, from that meeting, is that they are open to communication, which I think is great. So, should we get started? Gary?
All right, we will start. Who would like to speak? Raise your hand, please. Sir, come on up to the podium.
Yeah, if you can, when you come up to the podium, if you press the little silver button, a red light will come on. We are on Zoom and recording, so that way we could share this with other people outside of this room.
In the microphone, Cameron. They need to have the microphone
Oh,
right.
okay.
now.
My question is this going to be a 24-hour operation? I would like to know if the county is this in the city limits or not in the Plymouth city limits?
So it is in the county and they will be a 24-hour operation.
Is there anything you can do to stop that?
Absolutely not. I have zero control over how a casino on Indian land operates.
Okay, well, that's my grief.
Hi, the casino is directly across from my property, so we're flooded with lights all the time. My biggest concern is the speed limit that is currently there. It's just dicey getting in and out of our property as it is, but with 50, still leading 50 miles an hour with destructive lighting, I have great concerns that somebody's gonna get hurt or killed. Can anybody address that?
So I know when the casino was designed and built, Caltrans and the engineers were involved with that and made any adjustments or necessary requirements. I know there's been some concerns about not having a stoplight at that intersection, which potentially, and I agree, potentially may cause some issues or problems. Anytime there's a speed issue, there has to be a speed survey. And from my understanding, those locations are actually current under the speed survey because we are tasked with doing enforcement within the city, although this is actually just outside the city. And will be ultimately up to CHP to do any type of enforcement. So I'm in contact with the new CHP commander that just arrived. He's been here since the first of the year, Brian King. We had a meeting last week. We were talking about this, and hopefully we'll see a much greater presence along with my deputies who are also being trained in radar, LiDAR this year. And it's my goal to get them out there to really enforce a lot of these speed issues, not only within the city limits, but also within the entire Amador County, because I get complaints all throughout the county. Did that answer your question?
I just think lowering the speed would be helpful.
And that ultimately will be up to a speed survey, but I can certainly request that. It does go through the county, who actually go out and do the engineering, not so much the county, they contract out for that.
I could tell you that right now, traffic issues and speed are at the top of the agenda item right now among the council members.
Yeah, we've asked for a review of the studies, see if we can get a new one, work with Caltrans and anybody possible, because my perspective is 50 is too fast going into town, and so is 40.
Yeah, and
So we're trying to certainly look into that.
We've had several accidents going from 4916 all the way into town, and it's just like somebody's gonna get killed.
I could tell you that, talking to the chairwoman, she said that is one of their biggest concerns is safety going in and out of the casino. So they're also wanting to work on making things as safe as they can there. We are very limited, as the sheriff said, because the city limits in there and then it becomes state. And so we're very limited. We can't really do much more than ask as far as the speed limits go. But here in the city, we are looking at making a lot of changes. I can tell you that. I'm sorry, we will try to be cognizant of that.
Unfortunately, with a speed survey, we just did Ridge Road, which is in the county, and it went from 35 and actually increased to 40. A lot of people were upset about that because what they do is when they look at a speed survey, they gauge what is the average. So you actually potentially could see an increase sometimes.
Yes.
My question is, why did the city enter into a contract to supply them water? If they wouldn't have got water, they couldn't have built the casino. And how long does that contract that you have with them last?
Thank you for your concern, sir. We didn't enter into a contract. We don't have any contract with water with the tribe. Our contract was with Moorfield Construction, just to provide water for that construction period. And, it ends as soon as the construction project's done, or I think they requested through April, but their project will be done before then.
Are you gonna have another contract negotiation with them, or is that the end of it?
With the construction company, once the construction company is done, our business with the construction company is done. Right now, we do have no negotiations going on with the tribe itself.
My understanding is the water agency denied them water. Is that wrong?
I don't have an answer for that question, sir. But I mean, it's something that we'll look for in the future.
Well, it just seems strange that the citizen there didn't want the casino, but the city ended up providing them with the water. If they wouldn't have got the water, they couldn't have built this casino.
And the other thought process is they could have trucked in the water, so,
Thank you.
yes, sir.
I don't have an answer as far as AWA. I don't believe they service that area. What I do know is when Harris built their casino.
Yeah. Trying to get it back on. There you go. Try that.
They actually did wells out at Harris. So they do have that option as well. I know Harris did, people didn't think Harris did either, but they ultimately are running off wells.
Yeah. Let's go on next.
Okay, hi. My concern's lights. I live off of Fiddletown Road, so I'm actually out of the city, but what was once a beautiful view overlooking the country is now looking like a parking lot of lights. Coming up the hill, I don't feel the blast of lights represents our small town community, or our wine country. People come up here for peace and quiet. I think it's lovely that you are supplying job opportunities and all of those things, but the food menu and the casinos and all of those things really aren't what we're here about, I don't believe. I don't want to speak for everybody, but it's really the light pollution for me. I'm an interior designer too, so I know there are different temperatures of light. My question is this a safety issue? Is there a code or requirement of why they are so bright and there are so many of them? Because they're equivalent to like the Oakland Coliseum, but that's a big city and this is a small community. And I understand safety is of utmost importance,
Yeah.
but it just seems extreme overkill that is impacting the entire town as well as us in, I'm not in Brook Ranch, but I'm above that. So it's impacting a lot of people in this community. So that's just really more about the lights are there, the casino's there, that's a given. But what can we do about maybe reducing the temperature of those lights? Thank you.
Go ahead and say something if you want. Yeah, they're not subject to. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your concern, ma'am. It's been a concern of ours too. It's something we brought up during our meeting. And Ms. Dusky was very adamant that they took great concern to limit the light pollution. All of them are downward facing. Unfortunately, they're on a hill, so it kind of looks a little bit brighter as we're looking up. But they had to take into account like the safety and of their patrons and that as well. Additionally, they're not really subject to our codes when it comes to light pollution. But I got the feeling that they were trying to be as respectful as they could, but also keeping the safety of their casino.
My question is, could this meeting have been held in the future at a place that is more susceptible, more adequate for the audience to hear? A lot of us are old and we can't hear anyhow. So can it be held maybe at the fairgrounds where there's a better sound system? This right now, for most of us, it's a waste of time.
Yes, sir. And I could tell you, you don't know what you don't know. So we weren't really sure what our turnout would be. And we had considered different venue, but then we didn't know if we were only going to have 30, 40 people show up. So I do apologize. Obviously, in hindsight, we should have picked a different venue.
Good morning. Thank you for holding this event. So that now that the casino is in place and it's a done deal, will the city of Plymouth give any consideration to attempting to annex that property? And if so, would it give the city greater influence over permitting decisions regarding future expansions and also regarding highway issues such as whether to put a stop light at that intersection? And also would it give it further control over enforcing the lighting codes?
Go ahead.
Was your question was if we can annex their property and bring it into the city?
Correct.
We can't do that, sir. That's federal. That's their property, their tribal land. So it won't become part of the city.
And tribal land can never be the part of a municipality?
Correct. They're their own government, sir.
Sovereign
That
nation.
answers the question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, what we've seen is Harris has actually expanded their footprint. And generally they have the ability to do that. Once it's recognized as federal land, nobody can take that land away from them. Sir, in the back.
As with other concerns that we've already heard today.
Sir, can you talk? You got to get the microphone really close to you.
Oh, okay.
Right.
As with other concerns that we've already heard today, my concern is the water, and I understand that there's an abandoned mine on the property, the New London mine. And I understand they're trying to clean that up. So how's that going to affect our water quality? And I haven't heard much about this, and I'm wondering about that. Also, the light pollution is horrible. It's terrible. A friend of mine hasn't come up that road in a long time, came up. He thought that was a prison sitting on a hill. He actually says, I didn't know they were building a prison in Plymouth. So that light situation could be corrected easily. Those poles don't have to be as tall as they are. And do like other casinos, have a parking garage where there's levels and it's fenced off as far as light goes. I'm really concerned about the traffic control there also, along with what kind of people are going to be attracted to this casino. I read in the paper almost every week where there's drug flows, there's illegal activities, there's trash that's related to a casino that's moved into an area. And how are we going to take care of that? Thank you.
All right, I figured this question was going to come up, so I did run last year's stats. I've been involved with doing the statistical data for the Jackson Rancheria for about the last 7 or 8 years. And the impact that they have is generally in our jail bed days. That's where we see the largest impact. So last year alone, between the two casinos, the three police departments, my office, and CHP, we had just over 800 bed days. So that's a fairly significant impact, which equates to about $250,000 coming out of my budget. I get money from Jackson Rancheria, about 600, not about, it is $650,000 that they give the county towards mitigation. The Harris Casino, we negotiated about 1.2 million. We got our first payment, and then they sued the state of California over mitigation, which means they stopped making any type of payments. And I've still got a good relationship with them. I still meet with them, keeping that relationship alive, because when they are done with their lawsuit, they are going to pay those mitigation monies. So what I negotiated with the tribe here in Plymouth was for mitigation of $850,000. So what that money is going to do is it will increase my staff that the Board of Supervisors is never going to increase because they don't have the money to increase my general fund budget. So the plan is to take at least 3 to 4 deputies out of that 854,000, so we can heavily concentrate this area as much as we possibly can. And the goal is once Harris comes on board, I'll hire more deputies, correctional officers to help mitigate all the impacts. So what we're seeing is very little incidents happening at the 2 casinos that are currently in operation. The impacts are generally my deputies being extremely proactive, making a lot of car stops and making arrests that we associate back to the 2 casinos. And most of the arrests are generally for narcotics. That's the biggest issue we see. There's a small amount of identity theft, small amount of vandalism. It's generally for narcotics, couple DUIs, generally from both casinos. So that is the biggest issue that we face.
They're gonna have security on site also?
So the gentleman asked, are they going to have their own security on site? The answer is yes. They will not be armed security, just like Harris. Harris does not have armed security. We work very well with the security team. They notify us of any issues, potential problems, and we respond appropriately. So we will be working with the new casino and their security team. The Jackson Rancheria also has security, but they also have some armed security, kind of a leftover from when they used to have their own police department.
So that means.
Can you come up to the mic, please?
If you'd like to come up, please.
Thank you.
Okay.
So your authority stops at property line?
No. So in California, we are called what's Public Law 280. So that gives the police, sheriff, whatever jurisdiction they're in, the authority to investigate, go onto property and handle all criminal activity. The only authority I do not have is when it comes to civil service to tribal members. And there's definitely some lost authority when it comes to the actual tribal members. Anybody that is on the property is subject to normal penal code, traffic violations, etc.
Okay, so twofold question, your authority and I'm sure Hogard and Mayor Dunn can answer. Outdoor activities occurring at the casino, if there's something going on, it's too loud, something going on. How does it get handled? Report to you, report to the city?
So the gentleman asked if there's an outside venue and the noise is too loud. We do have a noise ordinance in Amador County that I actually helped draft because we were having issues with VRBOs. To answer that question is no, I don't have the authority to enforce a noise ordinance on a casino for their outdoor activities. It's just like the lighting issues. I don't have the authority. A criminal act, vandalism, somebody that's drunk, DUI, committing a crime, robbery, etc. Absolutely, we have the authority to go on tribal property and enforce that.
Steve, I can tell you that that did come up because my question was, what kind of entertainment will they have? And currently, there's a very small outdoor area, and it's quote unquote going to be low key. So it's not going to be huge concerts at this time.
Are there any, did they install any investigators to figure out the noise pollution? I don't know. No.
So he asked if there were any noise devices installed to estimate the noise pollution, and the answer is no. I know Harris does outdoor venues with concerts. Jackson Rancheria has done them for years and years. And my office has received almost zero to none, no complaints as far as the noise level from those concerts.
You helped draft the noise resolution or the noise complaint for Amador County. How do you guys enforce that? I'm kind of curious on that. That's a side question. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Thank you. I have a follow-up question to something that was said a bit earlier. Somebody referenced that Harris has the right to dig wells. How is that going to impact our water if they do that? Where are they going to dig those wells?
The question was, I brought up the fact that Harris did put wells in to get their water supply. And under the compact that they did with the state, they also put in monitors on other people's private property to monitor their wells. So they do have a heavy monitoring system that was included with that. I don't know about this new casino. I wasn't involved with that as far as whether they have any intention to have wells, do wells. So I cannot answer that question.
But they do have right now the authority or the permission to dig wells if they want to.
Yes, if they wanted to put in wells, they absolutely have the ability to do that.
And is there any requirement that they give notice to you or the community if in fact they decide to dig wells, and how that impacts the community as a whole?
I don't know that answer. Everything under Harris was done under the compact, so it was very transparent. I have not heard any intention from Plymouth as far as any well activity. But I don't have that answer because I don't know if they legally, I mean, legally they can. I do know that.
So as far as your understanding goes, they can dig wells and impact all our water source without notifying anybody or telling you or anything like that? I just want to make sure I'm clear on this.
Yes, when it comes to tribal lands, they're federally recognized. They don't have to follow a lot of the rules and regulations that go along with other businesses or building a house, etc. And my understanding is they would not have to make any type of notifications. Knowing Sarah, I think she absolutely would be notifying the community if they ever do have the intention to do that.
And you mentioned that there were some studies done about traffic and what have you. What other surveys were conducted before approving the building of the casino? Whether it was environmental, even though that changed subsequent to its initial offering? What other studies were done?
So there is no approval. We're not involved with the approval process. They don't need our approval. Everything goes through the state as far as when it comes to the compacts and all of the mitigation.
Now, the city didn't enter into a contract to provide water to the construction company. You referenced that earlier. And what did that contract entail? How much water were you selling to or transferring to the casino or the construction company?
So there was no limit on the water. It was just for their use, but we were selling it was $100 for 4,000 every 4,000 gallons. So whatever water they use, we bill them for at a bulk water rate.
So you have that number in terms of how much water you actually sold them?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes, sir. I can get that for you.
Okay.
Not today, but I can definitely get it for you.
And the contract itself, can you provide that?
There was no contract. It was a use permit. It's a permit and an agreement.
Well, agreements are contracts, but all right.
Sorry, I don't mean to hog this, but as we were talking about sound decibels, so you're on federal property, right? There's a boundary to that. But when you talk about sound, that goes beyond that boundary, and so does light. So is there no control that light is actually intruding in beyond that boundary? So how is that then handled? If there's a sound ordinance, wouldn't light be the same way? Because
it's impacting way beyond just where that casino is.
So, sound, and she's asking about the sound ordinance, and I don't have the ability to enforce a sound ordinance on the casino on tribal lands. So the same with the light, it would be from the point of origin. Since it's emanating from tribal lands, there's absolutely zero authority we have over that.
Benadi's had her hand up for a while.
You said there's monitors. Where are these monitors at? I live in Burke Ranch. There's no monitors in Burke Ranch.
I was talking about Harris down in the Comanche area.
Are you not going to monitor the properties that are close to this casino?
We don't monitor. That's not a sheriff's office function, sir. I did not. I said that the tribe put in monitors of the wells down in the Comanche area.
Good morning, honorable members of City Council, Sheriff Redmond. My name's Jessie Fowler, and I live over in Chicken Flats. First of all, I wanted to mention that, yeah, it's really hard to hear back there.
Yeah,
And I was wondering if this is recorded so people back there can hear. I was wondering if people back there, because we can't hear you, if this is recorded, so we can go back and review this. Also, just a comment, it would be a lot easier for people who have their hands raised back there and can't be seen if you just had a line of people so they can make comments. Because some people back there, people have come up 2-3 times, there's still people standing back there that haven't been seen once. First of all, thank you for having this, first of all. But I did want to also say, this isn't surprising. There's 1,000 people that live in this town and we're all concerned. Second, my actual question is, not to be duplicative, but the speed limit through town, I'm a runner, and when I run, it's kind of terrifying going through town, especially because I have to cross this road. I love that you guys put in some of these little running kind of areas, walkways, but that just the same, speed limit's 50, people don't do 50. And when I can reach out and touch somebody's car and I'm completely unprotected, that is terrifying. Now, especially if there's gonna be more people drinking and driving in this area, more people in general, I think you said there's gonna be 340 employees alone up there. That's a problem, especially when this crosswalk, I stood there watching cars go past. Apparently they thought I was just sightseeing, birdseeing. They don't care. There's a crosswalk. So that was basically it. Thank you so much for the time.
Those in the back that I haven't called upon, just please keep waving your hand or walk forward so I can see you. Thank you.
Thank you for having this. My question is about potential crime, and I know that this is the closest casino to a municipality, and I was wondering if there is any plan to increase presence in Plymouth to distract from, because I've read studies where petty crime increases, breaking into cars or into houses, and I was wondering if any of that has been looked into, or if that is seen as a potential problem, and what Plymouth can do, or what Plymouth will do to ensure our safety in town.
So the city of Plymouth obviously contracts with the sheriff's office. This is something that we are concerned about, and which is why I got the 850,000 to increase staff. So the goal is to get the 3 to 4 more deputies on board. Like I talked about earlier, we're trying to get them trained into LiDAR, radar, to also enforce the traffic laws here in the city, but also within the county, which generally is not under my jurisdiction. That's the California Highway Patrol. But this is the #1 complaint I get from everybody in Amador County, from Pioneer, Fiddletown, Volcano, Pine Grove, etc., is the driving habits and speed of everybody in this county.
And mine isn't necessarily the speed. I mean, it is the speed, but other crimes as well. And I know that this is pie in the sky because they're super expensive, but would the sheriff's department or could the sheriff's department with some of this money ever consider a substation on this side of the county? I mean, even equidistance between us and Harris.
So the substations come up before, and I've been asked by one of the board of supervisors if we need a substation up country. Every vehicle is now a rolling office. They've got everything they need. Really, the only thing they need out in the community is generally a bathroom to use. The substation, we had one out in Plymouth, and it really served no purpose. As far as I'm concerned, it is a waste of money for us. And the whole goal is to increase that staff level where we're shrinking down everybody's beats. I can tell you in Amador County, our response time is for a rural county of 594 square miles is our average is 15 minutes. I'm pretty proud of that because that's a very, very good response time. But the goal is to shrink that down. I understand your concerns for crime. What I can tell you is we're not seeing a lot of associated burglaries, break-ins, thefts, car burglaries associated with the two current casinos. Does it happen? Yes, of course. It also happens throughout the rest of the county from people that have no affiliation with the casinos.
And if you've already spoken, we'll give you an opportunity to speak twice. We just want to make sure we spread it out to, those that haven't spoken yet. Thank you.
Here? Thank you. Hi, thanks for doing this for us. I just have kind of really two questions. The first one is, you said 340 employees. What's the occupancy for people that are coming? And then on top of that, is there overflow parking? Are they going to be parking in our streets? Where are they going to put those cars? Is there plans for busing? Anything?
So I've looked at the plans when we were going through our mitigation. They've got adequate parking to handle their
What's the
current
number?
their current capacity. I don't recall what the capacity is, but with the 300 and I think it's 33 slots and about a dozen tables, their parking definitely is more than adequate to handle what that capacity is. They're allowing themselves, I believe, a potential for future expansion, just like Harris is doing. When they built that footprint, they have more than enough parking for any type of future expansions that they may want to enter into. But to answer your question, no, there's not going to be any offsite parking.
Okay.
But I would be happy to put that question forth in a future meeting with them
That'd be great.
and then report back during a city council meeting.
Then I have one other comment / question. So Jackson Rancheria is a no alcohol, only in their restaurant. So when you go in there, there's no one drinking. That's part of the owners was an alcoholic or something like that. And so I know when you go in there, there's none. What's going to be the limitations of alcohol at this casino? Anyone?
That will be up to the tribe, and from my conversations with the tribe, they will allow alcohol on the floor. Harris currently has alcohol on the floor, and once again, we're not seeing a whole lot of issues with that. We've made a couple alcohol-related arrests on the floor with people that got a little out of control or in the parking lot. There have been a few associated DUIs, but once again, not seeing a huge impact when it comes to the alcohol. Would I prefer no alcohol? Absolutely, but that's not up to me.
Right. I just one other comment. I've only been in this area for a year and a half, and I really appreciate all the people. I feel like a resident, and it's great. Do you feel like the casino and the Indian population is willing to work with the city of Plymouth, or are we talking to deaf ears?
They are. I would feel they are from the meetings that we've had.
We just want to be heard and felt like if they want to be part of our community, like I want to be.
Yeah, if there was any takeaway that I took, certainly, or we took, was that they were very open to future communications. That was pretty much stressed.
Okay, well, I'll be watching on the internet. Thank you very
Thanks.
much, everyone.
Yeah, all three tribes, I can say, like I said earlier, I've got a very good relationship with all three of them. And I know, especially with Sarah Dusky, she was born and raised in Amador County. So our conversations are, she wants to be a good partner. She fully understands there's a lot of issues and concerns that come along with this. A lot of people don't want this to happen. Here it is, it's happening. But I believe that the tribe will be extremely responsive to at least hearing what your concerns and issues are, which is why all of us are here today. Do I have anybody in the back? Ma'am.
If the tribe is concerned about our feelings and our concerns, why aren't they here answering the questions? We have to filter through you, then you filter through them. I don't think they're hearing us. They haven't so far. What makes us think they're going to be good neighbors and care in the future?
We did, when we spoke to the chairperson, they've gone over the years, in their opinion, and had the ability, shared with their thoughts. They've taken community input throughout the years. The relationship between the city and the tribe hasn't always been the greatest, and we're trying to restore that to help protect ourselves, for the future as well. But they're very concerned. However, in their experience, they didn't want to kind of come up here and be subjected to a firing squad either. That's not kind of how intergovernmental agencies work, so it's our government to their government, because they are a sovereign nation. We'll communicate our concerns and do what we can to mitigate the concerns. But it was brought up. That's why she wrote a statement. And that's kind of what we're doing here, but I appreciate that.
Ma'am, your hand was up. No.
Yeah, we should start a line, I think. Some of those people are back.
If we want in the back, somebody had the suggestion of starting a line. If you wanted to come up here and start a line, that way we don't miss the opportunity to hear your concerns or your suggestions, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's line up over by the side of the TV, please.
Thank you.
You look good standing right there.
I have a concern regarding the electrical grid and are they on the electrical grid or are they solar? And why are the lights on during the day?
They are on PG&E, I know that. Yes, I know that, I believe, when we met with them, they are, my knowledge, yes, on PG&E.
So why are the lights on during the day using up electricity?
That I couldn't tell you.
Is there a way you can get an answer to that and so express a concern? Because being rural, we have an issue with being on the grid anyway. And we've gone through several power outages. And will this contribute more to our power outages?
I don't believe that alone would contribute to the outage. Outages are usually storm related or an equipment or something, but we can definitely we'll express these concerns at our next meeting.
I would appreciate you looking into that and thank you.
Yeah. No, you need to wait.
Good morning. Thank you for doing this. We moved here recently from Arizona, and I'd like to address the lighting issue with the casino. One thing in Arizona is dark skies, where we came from, and in Flagstaff, and lighting was controlled, including the casinos that are around us and in town. But I think the situation could be ameliorated easily if LED lighting was used in the parking lot outside. The color temperature could be controlled, so it didn't need to be so bright, use longer wavelengths. And if the fixtures were shrouded so the light only came down in a cone and not out and up, that would make a huge difference. And I think security and safety could be, those. So I would like to ask you if you could ask the tribe if they could do this to help make the situation better. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And just to, hopefully everybody heard that, he talked about the lighting issues and where he came from, Arizona. So Amador County, I've seen this come up in the Board of Supervisors by several residents throughout the county. There is no lighting ordinance within Amador County. maybe for building, but not for ambient light.
Hello, I have really some comments. One, of course, I've
Microphone.
already,
Yeah, pull the microphone down to you. Thank you.
I have some comments. One about obviously the lighting. I live directly across the street also. It's like an airport. It's ridiculous. Oh, I went and talked to Sarah before this, before they even put the lights, before the casino was even in that area. That I was rest assured that there was going to be some kind of working with Plymouth, that it's not going to be like an airport. Plus, it was supposed to be over the hill. So, but now it's right in our faces as we greet Plymouth. The other thing about the satellite station, how long ago was that? And would there be any ability to bring it back in the future? Because the crime isn't here right now, but it could be in the future with the casino. And also with this, the speed limit. I don't know, I have to turn in that area too. And it's terrible. People are not going 50, they're going 65. And so it's, how long is this survey? Is this survey gonna be going through after the casino is open so that you can see the speed?
So to initiate a survey, like I said, that goes through the county or has to go through Caltrans on the state right of ways, which is initiated by CHP. As far as the process, I know it does take a while. It's not a, they order it and it's done within a week or so. So it will be after the casino probably is open for any type of speed surveys to go through. And to go back to the substation, my take on a substation is there's absolutely zero reason for investing any type of money into a substation. I want my patrol deputies out in the field working those areas, not inside a building. They have everything they need within their vehicle except for a bathroom. So there's really, as far as I'm concerned, no reason for a substation. I have no intention of bringing one back in this area. My plan is just to get more deputies into this area so we can address your concerns. Hopefully, I think we've hit this light issue enough, unless you have something on a different angle that you want to talk about the light issue. I think it's clear that we really don't have a whole lot of ability to make any change as far as or enforce anything within the casino. So if we can move on to some other topics, that'd be great.
Also talked with Roland Armstrong, who's District 10 of Caltrans.
Ma'am, no one,
Sorry.
unfortunately with our audio system, you have to be about 2 or 3 inches to the microphone.
Also talked with Roland Armstrong, who's District 10 for Amador County, in charge of Caltrans. And I asked him about stoplights or roundabouts and that kind of thing. And he said there's nothing in the works at this point, but there has to be something. They just can't, I mean, with that much traffic, there's going to have to be something that's going to be implemented. And I don't want them to use our road.
Understood, but as I said earlier, all of this went through Caltrans and the decision was made by the engineers at Caltrans not to do any type of roundabout or stoplight, et cetera. Unfortunately, and I'll be quite honest, the only way Caltrans reacts to anything is when they start seeing an increase in accidents and fatalities. That's when they start putting stoplights in, roundabouts, et cetera. Unfortunately, that's just a fact of how Caltrans works.
And one more thing, theft. I was postmaster of Sutter Creek at one point, and when after Rancheria was there for a while, there was an incredible amount of mail theft. And there's nothing that can be done as far as the postal service. And all we would do is revert you to the sheriff department. And there was really nothing they could do either. So it's going to happen. It is going to happen, just like petty theft is going to happen. So hopefully the sheriff will be on board with patrolling our area a little bit more. But thank you.
Hello, gentlemen. I hope everybody can hear me because I lived behind Red Hawk. 8 years ago, I moved to Plymouth to get away from the crime Red Hawk brought. First question, I agree, Mr. Edmond, we will need more of your deputies in town because we're going to have a lot more crime. And what happens in 6 months when the fair is here? That's more people coming into town, correct? This casino opens in 4 weeks, from my understanding. And I don't understand why we don't have anybody representing from them. You guys are taking the heat. What about CHP? We going to get more CHP for Jackson Road? Is CHP going to be part of this to help with the crime, to help with the traffic, to help with any of the problems? What's the understanding with that?
So the answer as far as CHP, yes. Like I said, I had the conversation with the new commander. They have increased the number of CHP officers. They just got 3 brand new cadets within Amador County, and they're looking at getting another. So hopefully there will be that increased presence of CHP. We work very closely with each other, and we rely on each other. So yes, they will be part of this partnership of being out here, not only patrolling for the traffic related issues, but they also do some crime enforcement, generally turn it over to us.
I never in my life had lived in a town that had to be locked down a few years ago when that criminal was out and you had to, everybody stay inside order to catch him. I assume that that's going to probably be happening one more time. When is the next meeting going to be? Before the casino opens? With somebody from the tribe to address all the questions that we are all wondering here, because they're in our community. And what is the benefit? What is the benefit of this casino to the city of Plymouth and our citizens? Are we getting a cut in our property taxes? Is there something we're going to get out of this? Besides 349 or whatever jobs, and after it's golden in 3 months and people go, well, been there, done that. Then what happens? And there's layoffs. And what about this Arco gas station too, that you guys are gonna have put in here for that? What's the next step? What's the next step for the casino? I hear there's a hotel going across from the brewery. Is that it?
Those things are unrelated to the tribe as far as the hotel and the Arco project, and they're off topic for today, but those are, feel free to come to city council meeting and address that, and we can try and give you whatever answers you want at that time.
I just want one positive that's going to come out of this for our citizens here in Plymouth. What is one positive thing we're going to get back from this?
And oh,
there's the answer.
What I was actually gonna say, I thought our city manager was gonna answer. There will, obviously there's gonna be ups and downs with that, having a casino, but there will be, positive that on the businesses, not everybody's gonna stay just at business. So there's gonna be an increase in people coming to the area. So there could be positive impacts for our businesses. There will be, restaurant venues there, entertainment venues. So to ask what is positive for the community, I guess it's if you're someone who enjoys those things.
So that's worth it. Thank you.
And I understand the emotions. I don't think anybody in this room wants a casino. I certainly didn't want 3 and have to deal with the public safety aspects of being sheriff in Amador County. A positive, though, I can give you a huge positive for me is that 850,000 that they negotiated to increase my staff. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. They have to have the money to pay us first. The way we negotiated it is the county is actually fronting me some of that money to hire those deputies beforehand. Unfortunately, with the way the line of work that nobody wants to do this job anymore. And we've seen this huge decline in qualified applicants. We are still short-staffed, although our numbers have increased significantly in the last couple of years. The biggest thing is we've been able to stop the bleed at my office where I don't have people leaving like we used to.
Is the casino funding any of that?
The positions?
Yes.
Yes.
How much?
850,000. They will, yes, they are paying they will be paying $850,000. That is the contract, the mitigation we entered it into. The Jackson Rancheria pays $650,000. They don't have to pay a dime because there was never mitigation when it came to the Jackson Rancheria. Harrah's was 1.2 million. Like I said, they're in a lawsuit, so that funding has stopped for now, but will be reinstated once the lawsuit's over.
Need it covered.
It is, but that also gives me the ability to add additional deputies where I was never going to get that from the current Board of Supervisors and probably the future Board of Supervisors. I'm the largest piece of the pie out of the general fund. My budget alone this year is $22 million. So public safety is generally about 65% of the general fund. That also includes the jail, Office of Emergency Services, patrol, courts, coroner, all of that wrapped up into one big budget of 22 million.
We can stick with it.
The fire department was given, and I just had a meeting with Chief Withrow. I believe he got 450,000 from this current. Jackson Rancheria, they do get money from Jackson Rancheria, and the Jackson Rancheria just bought them a new ladder truck. I believe it was 1.1 million is what that ladder truck cost, which the Jackson Rancheria paid for. So once again, I understand people's emotions, but it's here. There are some benefits that do come with it. Correct. That's an annual payment. Sir.
Hello, I'm Brian Sproul. I literally live across. Oh, sorry.
Swallow that mic.
Yeah, I'm Brian Sproul. I literally live across the street from them. When I bought the place, there was no casino, and then they built that. And I literally stare at the parking lot, and I've noticed now recently, with all the more the trucks come in, when they just park their trucks or cars, the headlights directly face my house. I have a shadow of light that actually with just the parking lots like creates a shadow off the back of my house because they're on all night long. I know you said there's really nothing you can do about the lights, but I mean, are they planning to put more lights up or more casino signs, more than they already have? Just curious if you know anything because no one really seems to know.
That I don't know. If there's going to be more lights, I do not know that.
Yeah, because it's pretty bright. I mean, and then the other thing too is like I know the speed is, well, at least is an issue because they're always driving fast right in and out of that thing. Was there any, I got in late, was there any talk about putting in some sort of like the flashing lights, speed limit, this and that, so people don't race in and out? Because I know that once they open up, there's just going to be a lot more people driving in and out, obviously, and especially with those motorcycles and stuff, they're just hauling ass out of there and in.
So to answer your question, yes, we can absolutely look at putting in a couple of the radar flashing signs. I actually did that on Ridge. We have some out in Fiddletown. They help. They don't solve the problem. Really what solves the problem is targeted enforcement.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, my plan is right now we're actively getting our people trained and we will be doing targeted enforcement throughout the county. We've never done that as a sheriff's office. It's always been CHP, but I've witnessed not only driving through Amador County, but this is what the biggest complaint I get wherever I go throughout the county. And it's all the way from River Pines into Pioneer. So
I know it's not going to solve the problem, but at least deter people because I literally live across the street as that hill kind of goes down. And the motorcycles, as soon as they see that, they just start ripping down. It'd be nice to have a sign that just flashes so people that, they think maybe there's a cop or something, or especially at night and stuff like that, especially now it's open 24 hours, 7 days a week. There's gonna be motorcycles just ripping it out there all times of night. Oh, there's just gonna be motorcycles ripping it all time of night out there.
he's talking about the speed right outside the entrance to the casino and his concerns. So we will work with the city on looking at getting some of those flashing radar signs installed.
Cause they like, I live right across the street from them literally, and the motorcycles and anyone really, they just, as soon as they see a straightaway coming in and out, they just.
Turned off.
Oh, all right. Sorry, we were trying to mitigate so they could hear better in the back.
So yeah, it opens up, and now with them being 24 hours, 7 days a week, they're just gonna be even more, especially if they're coming out there fairly drunk or tipsy or whatever you want to call it. So it'd just be nice to see, hopefully, I know they're gonna basically do whatever they gonna want because they can. But if there's something we could do on our side just to help get some lights up or some speed signs or something to help keep the noise down and also accidents. Cause I live on the corner, there's been 3 accidents already just for people trying to pull in and out. Like me trying to get in and out is a nightmare just trying to get in and out there, especially them going as fast as they
All
are.
right, sir, I'm going to cut you off because we do have a line of people.
Okay.
Thank you. Any people haven't spoken already.
I apologize for coming up again, but I got approval from the people behind me, so I want to follow up on the water issue because all these other issues are very important in terms of quality of life, safety, and what have you, but water is really what sustains us up here. We all rely on that. So I would like to know what information you have about Hera's intent to build those wells. Did you get any communication with them? Do you have any kind of agreements regarding that? Or do you have any information regarding their use of their plans, especially if they build those wells? How much water are they going to be pulling out? And secondly, you'd mentioned an agreement. Is there any way you can post that on your site so we see that agreement? And also how much water has been sold to them and how much the city paid for the water that they sold them?
So I can get that to you. I'm not going to post it on our site, but I can definitely get that to you. It's not a secret, but I can get it for you.
Then why can't you post it on the site? I'm just wondering.
It may be on our site in the documents. I'd have to check, but I don't see a reason of posting it like on front and center and putting a blast on it, but I can get you the
I think they'd
information.
like to know what's been done.
It wasn't past agenda, so that would have
Yeah,
been online.
It's been agendized. It's been talked about,
Yep.
Especially in the November and December meetings. So it's all available there too, but I can get it for you.
Direct a question for that information to you directly?
Absolutely, sir.
And sir, you said Harrah's. I believe you meant to say Acorn Ridge as far as it comes to the drilling wells. Is that correct?
Well, you mentioned that Harrah's is the one that has.
Harrah's has existing wells in the monitoring system, but that was part of their compact, and that's yeah.
So
Harrah's is down in Comanche.
So can Harrah's? Who's managing for Acorn? I mean,
two different entities.
No, I understand.
Two different tribes.
Acorn has somebody managing their operations.
Correct.
Who is that?
I don't know the outfit that is actually going to be managing casino operations.
Okay. And they would be the ones who would more than likely have authority or an interest in drilling for wells and things of that sort?
Like I said, I don't know. I've had zero indication that they are going to be putting wells in. I haven't seen anything, but like I said, I can't answer that. I don't know what their intentions are.
Yeah, it's our understanding they do have wells. We just don't have well data or anything like that. They do have wells, and they have their own water processing. They have a wastewater treatment plant up there that they're putting together. So they're working on being self-sufficient to the best of their ability. So right now, there's no outside agreements with the tribe as far as water.
Okay.
Well, thank you for finally holding this public forum. I've been requesting this public forum so the public might know this for nearly 2 years. I was here before those office buildings were in here, those offices, this building was packed to capacity and into the street when this issue was on the agenda. So I'm well aware of what's been going on in the last 23 years relative to this proposed project. With regard to water, the original project was 2,000 machines in a 5-story hotel. Well, they allegedly had water for that project. If you go to the DEIS and the FEIS, you can look at the well data and you will understand that they would have to pump the 3 wells they had in that report 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to deliver the water. That's impossible in that area. Currently, for the sheriff, the county entered into an agreement, and pursuant to a California records request, I received from the county everything that was related to that negotiation and agreement. The county was promised by the tribe that they would provide the well data on the wells. So Sheriff, I'm asking you right now, on behalf of the public and in this public forum, that the county provide the well data that they were promised by the Ion Band, because they are really good neighbors. I have been unable on several occasions to even get a response from the Board of Supervisors about whether they have the well data or not. Now, relative to good neighbors, the sheriff's office was notified, and I don't think you were the sheriff, but maybe you were. The Good Neighbor Ion Band took the property at the corner of Bush Street, the Muick Plaza, into trust without notifying the city of Plymouth. Oh, that's not the first time that they've done something that doesn't comply with federal law. The BIA, not the tribe, does that. So understand, the issues that most of us have here are not going to be with the tribe, going to be with the BIA. Whether the sheriff gets $650,000 or $4 million for additional staff, that will never decrease the crime. It is coming. Get ready, lock stuff up, bar your windows, make sure your doors are locked. Relative to mitigation, I would challenge anybody on this panel as to whether you even read the mitigation that's in the mitigated negative deck that the tribe published in January 2024. How many of the pre-operational mitigations have been complied with by the tribe?
All right, Butch, wind it down, please. Your 3 minutes is up.
Can I get a commitment from you, Sheriff, that we're going to get the well data?
You got to understand, I have nothing to do with the well data. I'm the sheriff of Amador County. I negotiated and solely on the public safety aspect. The well data, you would have to go through County Council Greg Gillott or Chuck Idley.
Yes.
I have zero input. Like I said, I didn't even know they had wells. That was not part of my preview. It was solely focused on public safety.
Oh, and to close, you are the sheriff of Amador County. So when the property at the corner of Bush Street was taken into trust, was your office notified? Oh, I think it was. I have the notice. The board of supervisors and 6 county agencies were notified about that acquisition. And not one office or one member of the board of supervisors, including our supervisor, Brian Oneto, thought it might be a good idea to let the city know what was going on.
Okay.
You need to have more of these public forums. And it's incredible that we have people in the audience who haven't been here, who have moved here recently. They need to know about what has happened in the past. Thank you.
Thank you, Butch. Next, please.
Hi, my name is Carol Camargo, and I just want to let you guys know that I am part of the Ion Miwok band. I'm not the board or anything like that, but I am going to take your guys' concerns and questions back to the GM, so our meetings, and I just want you guys to let you know that, I hope everybody follows directions, everybody follows the laws, and I hope we become good neighbors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Jesse Fowler again. So first of all, I just wanted to ask, so Highway 49, that's under Caltrans, so city has nothing to do with, you can't put in like one of those bars like you did on Main Street to slow people down? So you have that speed table?
The speed bump?
Yeah.
No, you cannot put a speed bump on a highway.
Okay. So my second question then is, you mentioned that you have an agreement for $850,000 annually. Is that open-ended or is that for a specific period?
The way the contract is the life of the casino.
Oh,
And we do have a CPI built in. So every year that number will go up to stay up with inflation.
Okay, and then so my third is, I know that the casino is outside of city limits, but as we are an incorporated city, and maybe this isn't so much you as to the actual council, could we not get our own police force? Is there not like money somehow that we can get, like Ion, just to increase? Because I know that you're short staffed. I work for Calaveras. I know like Rochelle's really short staffed. So is there not some other alternative we can do here?
In years past, the city had its own police force. It's just not, it's cost prohibitive for the city's budget. That's why we use the sheriff's office. And quite honestly, we are not even close to being able to have enough money in the city to operate a police department. With most cities, it's the single greatest cost they have. And there's just no way that we would have.
Oh, so can I ask, did you approach them then for the 850,000 or did they just offer that?
No, we had, the county had negotiations and I was part of the public safety negotiations.
So we just never even thought to ask
Asked for.
as a city, as this, not you.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So we never thought to ask as a city.
Oh, ask what, ma'am?
Ask for funding for our own police force to take some pressure off of Sheriff Redmond?
A police force is a very big undertaking. It's more than just putting a couple cars out there and some uniformed officers. There's a lot more that goes into it. But there's been attempts at negotiations throughout the years just to help mitigate some of our impacts. Unfortunately, those are kind of broken down. And so we're trying to rebuild that relationship right now, and hopefully that we can start having a future where we can start asking them for help, or if they need help from us, we can kind of work together to make those things happen.
Thank you. I appreciate that you're actually trying to move forward with that. And also, I was just wondering, can the people online, can they ask questions? They can. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, man, just so you know, ma'am, the cheapest police department in Amador County would be Sutter Creek. Their annual budget is 1.1 million, and they've actually reached out to me for a proposal on providing law enforcement services.
I'm a long-term Plymouth resident. And I think the ones that's been here for a while will remember that the bank here, the local bank here, was a great target for bank robberies. And the reason for that was because that was the last place the police was able to get to, because we were so far away from the regular police. Their efforts, the police's efforts at the time, was to put a substation here, a police substation here. And I don't think we had any robberies since. Now, other things probably happened also. So there has been substation here before. It was because we had a need for it. And I think this is another need for it. So you might want to consider that. Another thing is, I don't think I got an answer to the New London mine cleanup on the Indians' property. Do you know about it? Are you aware of it?
So the New London Mine property is actually not part, it is in trust, but it's not part of the casino property. It's separated. It's actually back behind my house. They have no intentions at this time to develop that land. What they're trying to do is cap it, because you really can't clean it out. And the only reason I know about that is because I live near it. So I got a notice from Toxic Substance Control from the state. So, that's a totally separated piece of property. They're not using that to try to get water from, or your concern was contaminated water, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so the state is aware of what's happening with that property, and the surrounding residents have been notified. And so I think at this point, their goal is to just cap that property and not do much with it. It's why no one's ever bought the property before. So it's really not a usable piece of property at this point in time.
Okay.
It's about 47 acres and it's totally separate from the casino property.
Okay. The reason I know about it is Toxics reached out to me also.
Yeah.
Because I'm a resident of Burke Ranch and we all have wells in Burke Ranch. And they wanted to know what our concerns was, and I voiced it. So that's why I'm bringing it up here.
Yeah, but it is not connected to a casino property. It's totally separated from that. It's
But they're,
thousands of people.
but they're reacting to it. They are cleaning it up, correct?
My understanding all of the time to make a decision on how they want to handle it, because it wouldn't be safe to mine it out of there. So the only safe protocol at this point would be to cap the area. That's my understanding right now.
Okay, thank you. Also, back to the substation in Plymouth. is there gonna be some kind of tally of incidents taken after the casino opens, like for the first 6 months, how much issues we've had? And will that cause you to rethink the substation in Plymouth? Thank you.
I'll talk to my command staff, but more than likely, we're not going to initiate any type of substation again. Let me look here.
Well, we've done that in the past and it was a positive move. So I would hope that we can do that again.
If I could speak on the substation, the area we had was at the firehouse, for deputies. And there was a computer in there and a telephone.
There used to be one right over here.
Oh, that was a long, long time ago.
That's what I'm talking about. That's when we had the issues a long, long time ago. We haven't had the issues since.
Well, we had bank robberies after we shut down the fire station access for deputies. We had, I think, 2 of them, until the bank finally decided to shut down. We haven't had any since, but in that building, but.
Thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have bank robberies all throughout Amador County. Pine Grove, I think, was the last bank we had robbed. In Martell, we had a bank robbed. I understand, and I remember I responded to a couple of those robberies. To answer your question, as far as incidents, last year, the Jackson Rancheria, we generated about 105 incidents. The majority of those were traffic stops or officer-initiated activity that were related to the Jackson Rancheria.
Morning, I'm Kerry Relay, and I am known for never having any comment under 3 minutes in my entire life. So we'll see what happens here. I have more of a comment. The casino's a done deal. There's going to be a lot of stress with it, and I'm hearing a lot of anxiety over it. I think that's right. I hear it's Caltrans issue, it's a CHP, it's the Planning Commission, it's PG&E, it's the hotel, it's the brewery, and for us, it all rolls together. So for us, it's impossible to separate. And so what I'm going to ask is a big ask. I'm an optimist. The council especially is going forward. Every other thing that happens now needs to be well thought out, how it's going to affect what your initial mission statement was about our community. This is already, from what I'm gathering, a train wreck. So now we got to try to clean it up. But what gets put in now and going forward is going to really impact us over the long run. But thanks for your consideration and your time.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. And I think we can all agree that as citizens, it kind of looks like everything's under the umbrella. So our job is to take your concerns and work with these different agencies and entities to help mitigate your concerns and help fix it. So that's on us, and we'll shoulder that responsibility.
Hi, my name's Melanie Mosley. I am a very resident, a baby Amadorian from Portland, Oregon. I moved here about 4 months ago. And I just wanted to, I'm in Fiddletown, and I just wanted to reflect back what I'm hearing. Because when I look at this, and the reason that I moved here was the community here. I see this community as people that have been here for a very long time. My mom was part of that. I see me as part of that. I see the tribe as part of that. And we all have different kind of wants and needs. Maybe it's nuanced, right? And so we need to be really, really cognizant of the nuance here. I heard from you that you were not going to post something publicly, but you were going to send something, and I'm sorry I didn't take really good notes, to someone who was standing up here and asked for something. I'm going to say maybe a good idea, just coming from Portland, a good idea is to post this stuff publicly and be transparent. That by you and that by the tribe.
If I may, it is on our website. It's just, I wasn't going to put like a specific link just for that.
Transparency is also around making things easy for people to find, right? So it can't be so buried that I've got to spend hours on research time when I've got a job and life and kids and which I don't have, but others do. You know, like that needs to be front and center, and especially these topics that we're talking about today. Really need to be summarized and easily made possible for people to get and understand, right? This rigmarole is hard. So I'm just going to put that out there as maybe a thought as you move forward. I really appreciate the guy that just spoke and said, hey, you know, we got a train wreck. Let's figure it out. And let's figure it out together. Like, let's really work together in a room in this space over and over. I understand why the tribe members didn't show up here. Right, I wouldn't. No way. I love the woman that came up here and said, thank you. I'm part of the tribe. I'm going to bring that back. Yes, ma'am. I mean, that's the way this stuff needs to work, but we also all need to be in the room. Those of us that are new, those of us that have been here, and we need to come. I'm going to use this because I'm woo-woo, whatever, but we need to come to this from a loving space, from open hearts and sitting down together, knowing that the solution is here. And I'm also really worried about traffic being a problem and deaths having to happen before something happens there. I would swear right now, but I can't. That is messed up. That people might have to die before, accidents might have to happen before you do something, sir. That's not cool. All right, that's what I got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for hearing me. I live in Burke Ranch and I attended that meeting in, was it November, December? And the head of the AWA attended that meeting and he could not answer what purification system that the casino was going to use on the well that we were digging, or that they are digging. The other thing that I determined on my own, I attended a council meeting and council members believe that that property is Indian land, which it is not. And also the health department believes that the occupants of that land currently do not need permits for building or wells. And the others, and someone else came up here and asked about the power situation. You saw, if you live in this area, that the PG&E brought in another power source because that casino is going to operate on 3-phase. While they're operating, if they lose one phase of that 3-phase, we're without power. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being the interman between the tribe and the community. I want to say thank you. With that said, is there a way, or do you know of a way that we can communicate with the tribe directly in our concerns and questions? In other words, an email, a website, somehow we can at least put it on paper, our concerns, instead of, a third party going back to them.
There have been concerns, that have been brought to the city that, belong to the tribe. They do have a email and I can get it for you here in a second. I have to look through my emails for it, but they are very open to accepting phone calls. They want to hear your concerns. So you can call their general number, or if you give me a minute, I could be happy to get that email for you. It's like info@miwok.net, but I have to confirm.
Perfect. And my last question is, and I know this may sound kind of silly, but with fire danger so high in this area, is that going to be a smoking or non-smoking casino? All it takes is one cigarette out into those fields and we're gone. Do we know?
Big smoking stop, I'm not sure. I believe that it'll be allowed in some areas, but I'm not positive. That was something we have to address with them.
Again, that's why I'm kind of like, is there a website or somehow I can communicate with them my concerns?
I know both the current casinos are smoking. I would imagine, a guesstimate they would probably be at least smoking or have the designated areas. There's a section in the Jackson Ranch area that they don't allow smoke.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Bernard Marino, a longtime resident here, generations of families here. I've been to a couple of these meetings. It's a given what's happened when the casino comes in. Water shortage, traffic, the undesirable coming in, undesirable events happening. But my concern is everybody's talked about increased law enforcement, increased money going to law enforcement. The meeting I was at Buena Vista, the DA was there. Is anybody going to give funds to the DA with the increased amount of crimes and arrests that's going to happen? Because at that time, he was understaffed and they had to let a lot of them go by. So my question is, what's being done to help the DA?
So yes, the DA was part of that negotiations and they did increase, or they will receive mitigation money. Also probation was part of the negotiations because once they go through the court process, a lot of times they end up on probation. So they did get mitigation money as well. And currently Jackson Rancheria does pay for mitigation for the DA and probation as well as my office.
Yeah, my understanding was when the DA was talking, he was still underfunded, understaffed, and they couldn't handle all the cases.
So just recently, the DA was able to hire some additional staff and they are, I believe, fully staffed at this time and brought in extra help, DDA out of Stanislaus County on board, which will help relieve some of the pressure.
Well, my suggestion is next time we have the DA present, I would like to hear it from the horse's mouth, you know, how the cases are being handled or what are being dismissed. So that's my concern.
Okay, I'll let Todd know.
You keep associating this casino with the Rancheria and Buena Vista. Those two casinos are well out of any city limits. This casino is going to have more impact on this town than Buena Vista has on Ione or the Rancheria has on Jackson. None of those are right up against the city limits. So it's going to have, no matter what you think, it's going to have a greater impact on this town than it is any of those other two. Thank you.
I don't dispute that. I'm using the two casinos because that's the data I have. Jackson Rancheria is also extremely close to the city of Jackson, which also poses some issues with the city of Jackson because that is generally where people go through to get to the casino, and also Ridge Road, of course, up New York Ranch. But Jackson does get a lot of traffic coming through them. So hopefully you didn't think I was trying to say that there wasn't going to be any issues with this casino. It's simply that's the statistical data I have to go off of is what impacts have these two casinos had with the surrounding communities and traffic related issues and crime, et cetera.
Hi, me again. During the last exodus of people here, I stepped out too. And I think one of the things we're kind of a little unclear on is what's the next process? Because one of the gentlemen, I was concerned with lighting and the guy from Arizona talked about perhaps like a shroud over the lights. So with that suggestion, how is that going to be handled? Is there a formal request we need to submit or, excuse me, are you guys going to be meeting with the tribe members and what's the process? I think we're all a little unclear about that.
Yeah, so as the ad hoc committee, just as we have met with them before, we will meet with them again at a yet to be decided time and place. But we will take your concerns back and then report back during a city council meeting on our findings.
And then we'll have another meeting for you. How will you then let us know if there's any resolution?
It would be discussed during that city council meeting if it's on the agenda.
Good luck, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Carrie and I'm a longtime resident. One thing with the Rancheria, Jackson Rancheria, is those guys are homegrown, lived here. I went to school with them back in the 70s, chased some of their kids around in the late 90s, doing attendance. The difference between those and the Harris and possibly this one, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they're both out of state,
No, they are local.
Who's running
the
it, though?
chairwoman grew up here.
Harris is not running.
The chairwoman, Sarah Duxke, born and raised in Amador County. The chairperson for Harris, there was a change in guard and is now the daughter. They are from the area. They live in Sacramento. They do not live in Amador County. That's Harris. Harris is also a very, very small tribe. I believe there's only 4 or 5 of them, where this tribe is much bigger.
the Rancheria is managed by the Daltons.
Correct.
And Harris runs the, Ione Buena Vista, right? And then who's running the Ione one?
Yeah.
The chairwoman, but I know they are bringing in an outfit to run the casino, but it's overseen by the board.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
We live in 2 miles outside of town here, and we've only been here 25 years, so it's not a long time. But my wife did graduate from my own high school, so she's been here for a long, long time. My concern, since it's going to be a wet casino, we live on the hairpin turn 2 miles outside of town. And in the 25 years we've been here, we've had 15 accidents that have taken out big areas of our fencing. We have livestock, and I want to know if I'm going to be responsible for a livestock getting out onto that road causing a crash, and am I going to be on the hook for that? Secondly, in the 15 crashes we've had actually one person fess up to it and pay for the fence. I'm out about 25 grand in fencing costs in the last 15 years, or in the last 15 accidents. So mitigation for that on a personal basis, and I understand I'm one person and it doesn't make any difference to the group, but what am I looking at in terms of my personal mitigation?
Well, liability wise in California, you can get sued for darn near anything. It's how lawyers make their money. As far as any liability with somebody crashing into your fence and your livestock getting out, ultimately the liability would be on them. They're the one that caused the animal to get free. Once again, in California, you're probably going to be also held liable for that.
Just a quick question that I brought up. So basically, we have our concerns, we have questions, and then we give them to you, and then you ask them. Is there a list that you'd be making us, or that we could find, so that you can see what list of questions be asking? Like the lights are a big thing, the water, all the other stuff, so we know exactly what you're gonna be asking, and then if they can get back to any of that, or what their answers will be to those questions.
I'm sure we can figure out a way to communicate that either online or on our website or in some fashion.
I mean, you must have a list now of the questions
I have
everyone's brought up
yeah,
here. So
I have a running list.
So there's stuff that
Yep. So
maybe wasn't written down or have concerns we can add to it that we can ask, or you guys can ask them so we can get those answered.
let me answer you twofold. Yes, I have a list. Paramount is the lights, speed and traffic, water, and then crime. I'd be happy to take that to them and get further answers, or number two, their office is open just down the street. Feel free to reach out to them personally. Cameron, I think we're gonna make that email address available, phone number, or just stop by there or make an appointment. I'm not sure how they work there.
I did that originally. They didn't have much information when we're building it. They're like, had a picture or something. And then the website that was very vague on how they're building the building.
Well, I can assure you is that we will try our best.
I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm just
no.
asking questions and just trying to figure out, because I don't know exactly what questions you're gonna be asking. It sounds like you only have 4 or 5 at the moment.
Well, I can't read back to you everything I've written down, but
just checking. That's why I was saying, if there's some sort of list, we could see like, oh, they're asking this, and then when they get back to like, well, did they ask the questions? Like, what was it on the list they asked? We don't know, because
again, I would empower you to ask them personally as well.
Okay,
thank you.
Yeah, in that email, if anybody's interested in it, and we're recording this and that we can provide it anytime, it's info@ionemewalk.net. So it's INFO@IONE, M as in Mary, IWOK.net.
Thank you for having this, but my concern is there's been a lot of talk about the portable water, but what about the sewer and the wastewater from the casino? Where is that going?
Try to keep them separate.
Yeah. That's a pro tip. They do have they brought in their own plant to process their own wastewater.
Okay.
I'm gonna suggest maybe you guys create a fact sheet. There's obviously things that the sheriff can't control and cannot control. You know, the city has no control over lights. It's private land. There's lots of things that you don't have any say so on. We brought them up. Maybe an educational process to let people know what you can actually impact and what you cannot impact would help. There was a lot of information here. You guys can't do anything about it. And thank you for your time, but.
Andrew.
Yes.
Hey, hello, my name's Andrew, a longtime resident, and I have a kind of a two-part quick question. The casino's here, bottom line. It will impact the city. Will how I expect, do we have plans for the more infrastructure in the future? New roads, maybe better lighting for the townspeople, like walking? And the question is, out of that funding, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 800,000. Would that money come from there? Or would the city people have to raise that to get to that point? Or do you have any ideas or thoughts on that?
So as far as the funding, that comes from the tribe, and it comes directly to the sheriff's office. It does not go into the general fund. If it did, the board of supervisors would steal that from me and probably fix potholes. So it's specifically earmarked. It goes into a trust so I can backfill or fund new positions within my office.
Yeah, so perfect.
And as far as your question regarding lighting and roads, there's no agreement right now or with the casino to help with those costs, but the city on a separate idea is looking at how to improve that. So we're working on that too.
Another quick question. Do we have any plans for, I know parking's an issue. Any plans for like a parking garage or any ideas on how to fix that? That might be a
That's also been spitballing some ideas around too.
perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hi, Rosemary Marino Moody, longtime resident of Plymouth, many generations back. I'm glad you're here, Sheriff Robnan. I have a concern that has been ongoing. My husband and I have been going to city council meetings for many years, multiple times over the same issue of traffic safety on Main Street. This doesn't directly involve the casino, but with the casino coming, the impact of more vehicles coming down Main Street by the school is going to impact. Right now, my husband has called the sheriff's department. He's gotten the runaround. And the last conversation he had, he was told that Plymouth wasn't a priority. So my concern is not only on the highway, but on Main Street because of the fact Old Sacramento Road, people coming from Folsom, El Dorado Hills, that area are going to probably come right through the middle of Main Street. And right now, I mean, just Thursday, my grandkids were walking home from school. So I went out in the front yard just to keep an eye until they got there. And I watched two cars go through the stop sign at Sherwood and Main while kids were in the crosswalk at Sherwood and Main to go across. And they went past my house. And by the time they went past my house, the one truck stepped on it and was just really going. The other was a silver SUV that just didn't slow down at all. So I have a concern with the safety on Main Street already with the sheriff's department is not providing anything for us. The city hasn't, they push us to contact the sheriff's department. It has been an endless problem. Now what's going to happen with people coming up, the increased traffic with the school there? Because I would hate for a kid to get hit before something happens. And the city council members know this has been something, a bee in my bonnet for a very long time. Because where I have lived, I've lived for 27 years. My parents lived there prior to that. And it's just, in the old days, it wasn't much traffic going by, but now just with people commuting, people moving in, more houses, there's a lot more traffic because Folsom is like the main place to go to shop for some people. I'm just concerned with the casino coming in, it's gonna increase that traffic. So it's not a casino problem, it's a city problem.
I'm shocked somebody from my office would tell your husband that, because they know exactly how I feel, that the city of Plymouth is a priority. And I'm not saying that that's not what they told you. It just, that's disappointing. Somebody from my office would speak on my behalf. We do have plans in place. We're aware of this. And I mentioned earlier, this is not unique to the city of Plymouth. This is a problem that in the last decade, really the last 5 years, has increased tenfold of the amount of egregious driving throughout Amador County, from River Pines, Fiddletown Road, Shake Ridge Road, Meadow, Upper Ridge Road, Climax. I mean, it's just blatantly disregarding the school zone on 88, et cetera. So we are doing everything we can, which is why I'm making basically a traffic unit within my office, which we've never done in the history of the sheriff's office, is go out and enforce traffic. Do we have the ability? Yes. But to make my deputies LiDAR and radar qualified to be out in the county has never been done before in the history of the sheriff's office. But I've seen such a great need and heard concerns exactly like yours throughout this entire county that CHP they no longer can handle it. They lost the ability to handle it 10 years ago. And I'm not speaking disparagingly about CHP. There's only a few of them on the highway. They can only be, in certain places at once. And they primarily focus on the high fatality and high traffic accident areas, which are generally the state highways. They don't get off the state highways that much, which is why we as a sheriff's office, I feel we need to step in. So we are going to increase that. We're going to work on it. And I apologize for my staff telling you that, because that is just dead wrong. Thank you.
I will say you're probably going to see us addressing the traffic thing a lot more in the coming months. I personally was telling the city manager, I got passed on Main Street doing 15 miles an hour in front of the hotel down here. And I've watched from my yard on Main Street, vehicles literally pull out past another vehicle through the stop sign, probably doing 45 to 50 miles an hour. It's a huge issue. We know about it. We're aware, and we have talked amongst ourselves, planning to address it a lot more.
And just so you know, I came from LAPD, and when I left LAPD, I was central traffic. I'm a traffic guy. I still make traffic stops. One, because it bothers me and the amount of egregious activity I see. Two, I drive an unmarked. And I can tell you, people are not smart enough to know that that's a cop car that they're passing over the double yellows. And I really enjoy pulling them over and giving them citations.
Yeah.
One of those.
More of them.
Yes. Oh, okay.
I'm a little confused as to where the actual entrance to the casino is. Is it by the hotel or before the gas station? Or is it both? Do we know?
So right now it's both Village Drive. It's at the top of Village Drive. And so they have access in and out of Village Drive. We brought up during our meeting, the mayor did, about the idea of having a one-way traffic to help mitigate it. They said that was addressed during all their mitigation studies and it was advised against it. We're still kind of thinking that could be a good option, but we're still entertaining how to make that happen.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Thank you again.
Which did you want to speak again?
Again, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm glad that the many people who attended today have brought forth a number of serious issues of the negative impacts that are coming to this community. And all the money in the world is not going to mitigate those impacts. The most serious concern, I believe, is whether or not the acquisition of the property on March 20th of 2020 was in compliance with federal law. And there's a really easy, simple way to find out. And I have been asking the Board of Supervisors and this Plymouth City Council for almost 2 years to simply ask for any pre-March 20th, 2020 trust deeds for the Ion Band and a copy of the land consolidation plan that's required by federal law the Indian Land Consolidation Act. Here's a title status report from the Department of Interior. It clearly indicates that this property was acquired using the Act of 1983. That's the Indian Land Consolidation Act. You can look it up. It's 25 USC 2201. The definition of tribe in that act, a tribe is defined as a tribe for which the United States holds land in trust. On March 20th, the federal government held no land in trust for the landless Ion Band. So I'm going to make the request public today to both the Plymouth City Council and the county through the sheriff's office. This is a simple thing. They either have the trust deeds that are in compliance with federal law or they do not. I just had an article in the Ledger-Dispatch, a letter. The indifference of the city council and our board of supervisors is abhorrent. They will simply not even ask this question. Where are the deeds and the land consolidation plan required by federal law? And while all the issues that have been brought forth today, water, traffic, sewer, all those things, yeah, those are serious and those are important. What's really important is if it's even in compliance with federal law, which I happen to believe it is not. And I have documentation, where the federal government has already admitted there are no trust deeds. So it's up to the Plymouth City Council and the Board of Supervisors to actually do something relevant to the most important issue concerning this project. So a follow-up. I would like somebody on here, either Plymouth City Council or the Amador County, like a copy of their 404 discharge permit and their 401 permit required by federal law.
Anybody else?
Just two more things as things been brought up. With the funding that you received or are going to be receiving, are you going to be, I drive down 16 or Jackson Highway to get to work with, and people drive like crazy down that road, because of the new money you'll be getting in and the traffic that they'll be generated from the casino, 7 days a week. Is there any plans to have an officer or CHP or whoever it is out there patrolling it more so people are not driving as fast, or maybe you'll stay at least within the speed limit?
Yes, so not so much my office. We're going to concentrate primarily on the off-highway areas, but my conversation with the new area commander is they are aware that this is going to increase the traffic and they're going to have a much greater presence out off the 16 corridor. 16 has had some horrendous fatalities out there, so they're fully aware of that.
I've almost got ran off for like 3 times because I drive down that road every day.
I hate driving to Sacramento.
Yeah, I do it every day and people are crazy. And the other thing too is, maybe you answered it earlier, but this is all new to me. As far as the 800,000, whatever you guys are getting towards the police department and the fire department, is there any being kind of funding towards the city of Plymouth or this town to address anything, or is it just to those two organizations or groups or whatever you want to call them? Because they're giving money to you guys, but are they giving anything to Plymouth to help make it better or maintain it or keep it nicer or help with traffic or just anything? Or is it just been the police department and the fire department?
There's been opportunities throughout the 23 plus years to negotiate with the tribe. Those negotiations, for one reason or another, have fallen through. So as of right now, there is none. So our goal is to build a relationship with them and hopefully we can start working on those things together. But right now there's nothing, no negotiations or anything in place.
Okay, thank you.
One thing I'll say, as far as the traffic concerns that people have that some people might not realize is a lot of these people, like the officers and so forth, also live in our community. I personally know 2 CHP officers living in Plymouth and right here on the edge of town. And so their families are here, so they have the same concerns that everybody in this room has, obviously. So, and you know, also see that, and I'll say that also for the tribe, you know, as some of their members and already live here in the Plymouth area and, you know, are on our streets and stuff and have the same concerns. And I know talking with the chairwoman, she said that was the number one biggest concern they have is traffic impacts and safety and stuff. So just put that out there, you know, all the people we're discussing here with law enforcement, the tribe and everything, they're also members of the community. A lot of them are living here.
So I know that
Yeah,
that's
so.
local people are concerned. We're talking about people are coming into town.
Yeah.
Just want to haul ass through to go to.
Yeah, and what I mean is they're cognizant of,
Speed limits unless they see.
yeah, and they're,
Flashing lights or police officers
Yeah.
telling them to slow down or at least wear like.
Yeah.
Shit, I better keep the speed limit.
Mr. Redmond, we have a person online raising a hand.
Go ahead online. Hold on.
oh, online.
Online, please.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
My name's Stephanie Moreno. I'm a local resident of Plymouth and small business owner. And I was unable to join the meeting until later. But I understand the context from what Holger said about comments previously. I do want to say that I'm very concerned that the city's only plan is to try to get negotiations going and collaboration going with the tribe. They have a responsibility to mitigate these impacts for the constituents who live here, regardless of if they have any additional money coming in. And I see no planning for that. The sheriff is receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for enforcement services in our city. He just said he's planning on managing only the off-road areas. He's responsible for traffic enforcement on Highway 49 within the city limits, and that area is in the city limits. The city council needs to hold the sheriff's office feet to the fire to get them to produce the services that they're paying for. They also need to be providing impacts for the other things, talking about how to increase public safety, talking about if there's going to be any impact on water eventually, because we don't know the effect of the water system that they have there on surrounding areas. The city needs to have a plan B and a plan C on how to mitigate these impacts and quit blaming past city councils for not having done their job, which they certainly didn't do, but start taking responsibility for meeting the needs of the constituents that live here now, regardless of whether or not the tribe is contributing to mitigate those impacts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Marino, I'm fully aware 49 is in the city of Plymouth, and that is our jurisdiction. I was talking about 16, and when I go throughout the rest of the county, I don't plan on doing traffic enforcement on 88 or 49 through the rest of the county. As far as what the city pays us, the city for the last 20 plus years has paid the sheriff's office for law enforcement services $100,000, and about 75,000 or so was going to dispatch, which left about $25,000 to $30,000 for law enforcement services. I'm not here to subsidize the city, so I started this negotiation process about 3 years ago, and we came to a contract. I think it's the best that I'm going to get. Does it actually mitigate what I'm providing services from the entire sheriff's office, from my time, my administrative time, my detectives, my evidence collection, my front office staff, for basically $300,000? No, it does not, but I understand the fiscal aspects of what the city faces, and I wasn't here to gouge them. So yes, we do provide a high level of service at a very, very moderate price. And so I will dispute that fact. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, speaking of traffic, Old Sacramento Road going out of town to Latrobe and Latrobe are pretty atrocious. Is their county going to straighten that up, maybe fix the roads and make them more appropriate for the traffic that is coming, or maybe even get the tribe to take a look at those roads and, you know, be a good neighbor and get those fixed up?
That would be a question for Brian Oneto, since he's the District 5 supervisor. I know with the budget, there's not a whole lot of money for roads, and that's another issue that comes up quite a bit. Right now, my staff, I've got 2, and we just added a 3rd grant writer within my organization. I got with the Board of Supervisors and said, hey, they're absolutely killing it on grants of trying to bring in money for not only my office, for the benefit of the entire county. Let's start looking at roads. We've met with the new Public Works Director. We're getting some good ideas of, the worst roads in Amador County to start targeting for grants that hopefully we're going to bring in and help fix some of these areas. And I have no doubt that will be on the list because that is an atrocious road.
I could tell you that
Those are worth their weight in gold.
I can tell you that the city council is very much aware of the problems with Old Sacramento Road, and it's on the list, and it'll be on future agendas if you watch our agendas, if you want to come discussions on that.
We have anybody else? We're Rich. We'll be wrapping it up soon. So if you want to speak, let me know, please.
I just want to say, I commend the city council for having an ad hoc committee and for the city building that relationship with the tribe. It's the only way that we're gonna get in.
Right here. You got to get the microphone right to you.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, thank you.
For those that couldn't hear, he was just thanking the city council having the ad hoc committee. Would anybody else like to speak?
Move the meeting. Don't patronize the casino.
Yeah.
That's it. Put my business.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This will
I
conclude.
just want to thank everybody for coming.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you. Heard your concerns.
For anyone who's interested in all of the benefits to the casino to your community, there is a copy of this summary of a gambling report that's available at the Amador County Library. You take the time, you'll learn. There's no benefit.